gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're live!
Yo, Russ, before you looked up, you looked like you were dead asleep.
I'm like,
his eyes were like downcast. He was like,
I'm looking down because I'm transforming this fucking transformer, and it's kicking my ass. It's kind of getting on my nerves.
You see him, Nick? He's like this.
Yeah, Russ's CPAP machine has been broken for a few days.
Yeah, man, I'm a little roughed up, dude. I haven't been sleeping well all week. It's been really shitty. So I'm trying to.
Oh man, that sucks.
Man, it's been rough, but it's okay. But Anna, I'm been riding into work with Anna, so it's kind of to save some money on gas, because gas is expensive as shit everywhere. Dude. And like, it means I gotta get up early as fuck in the morning because she.
What time you gotta get up?
Shit. Well, she gets up at like 4. I'll say fuck that. I get up at like 4:50. Yeah. I'll wait till the very last second. I gotta get up.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I can't do that, man. It's just too rough. It's too early for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's like getting up that early. Like you got to go to bed at like 7.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's no fucking around with that. Like you got to go to bed at 7. Like if you want to.
Pretty much.
If you want
to. Yeah, and there's no like you can't really. You start counting your minutes up. You're like, well, let's stay up for 15 more minutes. That's 15 less minutes of sleep I'm getting. Fuck.
You start bargaining.
Yeah, right.
You start doing deals.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of that, man.
If I can get to sleep in just 15 more minutes, I'll go to sleep an hour earlier tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
It was like that bad for me. I always get like that at the end of the school year. I'm like, because I got bedtime, where I know I'll go to bed and feel okay the next morning, and then but by the end of the school year, I'm like, fuck it, dude. Like you're staying.
You're just like whatever. I'm staying up.
Go get another beer out of the fridge and let it rip, dude. Like you're not doing shit in class tomorrow, anyways.
That's funny. He's like, fuck it. Let me get another beer. I'm good.
Man, we were talking before we went live about. I was talking about this kid giving me food out of his lunchbox at school. And when I taught 3rd grade, you guys have White Castles, or have you been to White Castles?
I've been to it.
Yes, been to White Castles.
Semi-regional thing. So, and I'll say, they got a shit ton of them here in St. Louis. Disgusting. Don't go out of your way to go to White Castles.
No, it never was one of the places I've enjoyed going to.
Out and it looks exactly like it did when it went in. Like I'll just say that.
We get the frozen shit from my daughter, and she eats those frozen ones.
That's what I was gonna say. They used to have for lunch these there were White Castle burgers, and I think it was that. It was like frozen one, or I threw them in the microwave. But the kids in my class, they all knew that I loved them, so they would all save them. And I'd have 28 kids give me at least one White Castle burger. So I just had this big mound of them on my desk, and I would just eat them throughout the day.
Jesus Christ. That's like your size burger, though, isn't it? Maybe
oh, god damn.
Sam takes one of them and it's like his hand's full.
Yeah, dude, little slider.
Like, slider? This ain't no goddamn slider.
It's a big burger.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Shit.
This is a whole second breakfast.
Yeah, man.
I found some of the I guess White Castle. They do like these chicken sandwiches for White Castles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I got to pack them to try. Told my kids, I'm like, y'all, when do y'all try that shit? I'm like, why? I was like, because I'm not eating that shit till y'all try it. I got to see.
He's like Rasputin, make people eat his food before.
Oh yeah, no, always. I'm like, my son's like, what? My son's like, what? So if we got you test or your test subjects, I'm like, yep, pretty much. Yeah, you gotta sacrifice the youngsters.
Sprightly, man, they can handle that shit. I will say, if you are gonna go to White Castles, get chicken rings are good, and their cheese fries are pretty good. They do like a crinkle cut fry, which isn't my favorite, but
Dunkin' does some fucking breakfast sandwiches that'll fucking knock your ass.
Oh, dude, they got the best breakfast, best fast food breakfast to me.
Yeah,
Dunkin's not bad. Dunkin's not bad at all. That's really good. I think I like Chick-fil-A stuff because they do a really good breakfast burrito.
That's
amazing,
my third, man. I think Dunkin's my one because their hash browns are so good. They put onions in them. Right?
Yeah,
that's what makes it. They got this little. Their sandwiches are good. McDonald's is 2 just because, and then Chick-fil-A.
I'd go. Nah, man. I'd go BK over McDonald's, man.
Would you really? Do you like BK better than McDonald's?
Burger King's good. They got those good hash browns too.
French toast
sticks. But dude, the only thing hurting them is they had one here in town. They closed it. It's like 2.5 years ago, so I haven't had it in a long time.
Yeah,
that was one of my go-tos.
Yeah, they do
sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Was like the I can't remember what they called it.
Hash browns.
Don't they have like what they called the ham and cheese croissant, the croissant sandwich or something like that? I don't remember.
But yo, those French toast sticks are crucial.
Yeah, they're good.
I brought
even if I only ate like a couple of them, I always got one or two. Just try them.
He's transforming hard. He didn't even pay attention.
I heard you. I'm just trying. You know what's pissing me off? It's a fucking Legends class Skyward. I'm feeling like an old guy right now. I feel like one of the senior citizens. I think this goes right here.
Oh, dude, I bought a toy today.
What was it?
What'd you get?
I got a fucking Brody Lee.
Oh, the AEW, all badass, dude. Is that the one that's they got the rest in peace, Brody Lee?
I don't know if it is or not. It's him it's him with the big red TNT belt.
I think that's the one. I think that's the one they did. That's a good figure to have.
I want to get a -1 to go with it.
But they did like a special figure that they did in memorial to him.
Yeah, I don't think this is it.
That's cool.
But it's got
badass.
It's got like the silver shit.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a real good one. It's a cool look. Dad missed that motherfucker, dude. That's like, man, shit.
Yeah, he was cool, dude.
You've been buying anything lately?
No, nothing, man. And I saw today at Target. I almost got them. They had 2 of those Mandalorian like Death Watch troopers, which I actually want, and I had them in hand. I put them down. I said, I gotta wait till I get all this shit sorted out, just because. And it's like I was telling Jackie, I've been so fucking bored this last week because we got like everything packed away. So like I can watch TV, or I can I've been reading, right? But it's like even all my books are put away, so I'm like just reading shit that I never would have read normally, and just burning through books because I got so much time now. And just not having any toys to fuck with. I usually have especially in the summertime, either like a full blown project going on. Like last summer, it was I was getting all my Clone Wars Black Series and SH Figure Art shit sorted out, which most of them were customs in some regard, and that kept me busy for all of June and July basically. And it's now I got nothing just because I don't have anything, handy. Everything's put up at either old house, new house, this house where I'm at now, and it's just I'm losing my mind, man. I can't wait to get in, and I have at the new place I got my custom area set up already. I made sure.
Oh, cool.
There's an unfinished part in the basement, and it's if I get paint on the floor, it doesn't fucking matter. If a hose breaks or something, it doesn't matter. So I got that.
That's always good.
But that stuff's been keeping me busy. But yeah, I need to get something. I might go back and get those 2 tomorrow just to have something to fuck around with.
Russ, what have you been into?
I just beginning people. I don't know. I got this stupid Skywarp. I saw it on Amazon. It was on sale. I was I'll get that. Actually, it's an improvement from the last Legends class Skywarp they did. I think it's an improvement. The only problem is I got one beef with it, and it's when have you ever gotten a seeker that doesn't have null rays? This thing has some stupid little. It's got some special little thing with it, this little
special.
some dumb little weapon. And I think you can, if you buy a couple of other figures, they have weapons that can combine with it, and it forms some kind of sword or something like that. But I was like, but that doesn't help me with my Skyward.
No, it doesn't make sense. But at least if you get the combined weapon,
yeah.
So what McFarlane does is they'll have they did the Batman wave,
right?
They had a regular Batman, and then they had an unmasked version, and it's they never do that shit with one figure. I think that's so silly that they do that, man.
It's almost like we're gonna make you have to buy 2 figures.
Yeah,
and
it's you can.
Yeah.
you'd look at the McFarlane section at Target and then just be like, okay, well, here's Hasbro Lightning Collection that gives you everything in one package. Marvel Legends, same thing.
Yeah.
Black Series to an extent. But I just think it's silly when McFarlane does that, man.
Speaking of Lightning Collection, I got Tommy and his ninja.
Yeah,
Russ is buying hella toys, man.
A couple weeks
They're
ago.
This isn't bad. I like this one. It's okay. It's a Tommy. Tommy's like my favorite Power Ranger, ever. So probably in millions of other people, but so when I saw that they were doing these, I was like, oh fucking A, man. It's badass. I like it. I wish the head articulation is a little weak to me, but
I thought when I saw those in package, I felt like the neck looked short, or it's like maybe the head's small, or something looked.
It looks like the head sits down too much on the peg.
Yeah. Hey, hold up to the camera. Which head do you have on it?
I've got the. Yeah, there you go.
Doesn't it come with the one like the Japanese?
Yeah.
It's got Super Sentai one with like just the eye holes or whatever.
Yep, it's got two other heads that come with it. And they actually all of them have some articulation issue with them, but this one's the worst, I think, of them. I wonder if you can take this thing off, this little like it's supposed to be, I guess, like the scarf thing. I wonder if I take that off, if it'll help it out any. Let me see. Or it's just gonna look stupid with it off. I don't know. We'll see. Pop it back on here. It helps a little bit, but it's still shitty. Oh well. I just think it sits too low on the peg. That's all.
Yeah, I thought that when I saw
if it set high. Yeah, if it set higher, set up higher on it, it'd be better. And that's all right. That's a typical Hasbro. You can't expect them to get everything right.
Yeah, and depending on what type of like neck joint they use, they could be tough to fix, man.
That's nothing to do. This joint, this peg on for the neck is kind of. I mean, it's just the one peg, and it sits still. It doesn't have any other movement. It basically depends on the movement inside that it's going to have with the head moving around the ball.
Yeah.
So it's limited, but that's okay. I got it to basically pose it, and that's okay. I don't mind it. But
Sam, are you a Power Rangers fan?
Yeah, for sure. Mostly, well, actually, dude, I like a lot of the series. I like, obviously, like the Mighty Morphin Z Ranger stuff.
Yeah.
But then I really got into Time Force and Wild Force just because at the time I was like 10 or 11, and I remember thinking like I'm too old for Power Rangers. But my nephew was he was watching them at the time, and I was like, dude, these are good. Like, I think I might have been like a little bit older, like in middle school, like 12, 13. But my nephew was watching them, and I was like, dude, these are good. And I got into both of those.
Now, Russ, do you know what Bat in the Sun is?
Bat in the Sun?
The YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's like
I don't.
Fan made like little short movies of like Batman versus Predator, Batman versus Darth Vader. Like,
oh, cool! I'll
go
check that out. That sounds awesome.
The dude that plays Batman.
I
don't know his name, but I've heard him on a couple podcasts. He's great. He's super cool. Like, really nice dude.
I'll have to check it out. What's it called? It's Batman in the Sun. Is that what it is? Okay.
Bat in the Sun. Yeah.
Just Bat in the Sun. Yeah.
Oh, just Bat in the Sun. Okay.
They've worked with Jason David Frank for a bit, right? They've done a Green Ranger thing with him. Like, I forget what it was.
Were they the ones that did
with somebody, and then the White Ranger versus Scorpion?
Oh, that's so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, they do. Do they do like Wolverine shit? Is that them?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's badass, dude.
They're doing like a full-length movie with Jason David Frank, like called Revenge of the White Dragon, where he's going to be like a pseudo Power Ranger in a white suit.
Oh my god, it's so cool, dude. That's so badass.
Like a Power Ranger, so they don't get like the pantsuit.
That's a suit, yeah. I liked it. They did. There was a
Batman versus Vader was dope.
Yeah, that was cool. For what it was.
Yeah,
it was cool because like they definitely weren't like evenly matched. You know what I mean? Like Vader was definitely more powerful. Batman outsmarted him. You know, like this is like typical shit. Like you'd love to see.
That's why Batman always ends up beating his foes. He's like a way outpowered, but he just outthinks them, right? I mean, that's
that's a perfect example of that.
It's funny as shit, dude.
Do you guys ever get into those nerd arguments with your friends?
All the time. All the time.
Dude, like, man, like I love
who
to do
can
it.
Batman beat and shit like that. I love doing those debates.
I do too, and I always think to myself, like, it's so stupid. None of this shit matters, but it's also so much fun, dude. And I'll sometimes just to do it, like for sport, will like defend something that I don't agree with.
Of course you do.
Like,
of course you do.
Like this is
I
fun,
would never
dude.
guess that.
Yeah, yeah. Just like disagree with myself, just to.
I would throw it out. I'll just throw it out. I'll go like Superman kills anybody in the DC universe. Prove me wrong. And all of a sudden, all these motherfuckers are hitting me up with who this guy could beat him. This guy can. Everyone's hitting me up and how they would kill him and everything. And I'm like, nah, Superman will stop that. And it all works out until somebody gets to Batman. And I'm like, oh man, don't fuck me up now.
That's EE. He loves to do that too. I know it.
It's too funny,
he'll
man.
Never stop too. I love it.
It's fun as shit. My favorite is when you get a really good Star Wars fan, hardcore fan. You get them going with Luke Skywalker versus Darth Revan. Or something like that. Who would win? And you got all this. The arguments that are made. Oh man, Luke was more powerful in the Force. And I'm like, are you sure? Revan was pretty badass. It's like, and my favorite is which version of Luke Skywalker? And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
It'd be like the one at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, because that was
right.
That was when he was on screen kicking the most ass.
But you know what's funny about that? Though? I know that's the only time we've seen him really fuck some shit up on screen. But in a few more years, he's gonna get even stronger. He's supposed to get even more stronger than that. So it's like, damn.
So was that like Luke Skywalker's Mandalorian? His moment in the Mandalorian, was that like, oh shit, like how fucking Vader's moment in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Sure. It kind of felt that way.
It's like,
it felt kind of,
and I think it's like, what you
parallel
imagined in your mind, but they couldn't do at the time for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, I think for Vader, like, man, I watched that movie the other day. And because I watched, I got caught up on Obi-Wan, and I was watching Rogue One, just kind of thinking like, dude, Disney just got me so excited with Rogue One, for to me how good I think that movie is. And then look where we are, however many 6 years later. So, and I was just thinking about like, man, what happened? Because that movie's so good. I know Russ has issues with it, and I don't think that those issues are valid. No, just joking. I mean, just everything, like the way it's filmed, the tone of it all, the way that they use characters like Vader, which is like, man, that's a tricky thing. How do you do this right? And they did it perfectly. He's what, there is this with Vader, there is like kind of a through line through canon, through legend stuff, and then kind of what we've seen so far with Disney is that like he's not on like the Empire's like propaganda posters and shit like that. People don't know who he is. Like, he just basically sits in the back the tank until the Emperor needs somebody to be taken out, and there's a little bit of wiggle room and some differences here and there, I know, with the comics and stuff like that, but he's basically just like, he went out and did that shit at the end of Rogue One and through A New Hope and everything like that, because the Emperor is like, nope, we need to solve this right now, get this shit sorted out, Vader, you're on it, and that's like,
yeah.
I think it feels like Vader didn't get more involved, or maybe he just wasn't utilized by Palpatine as much in the first 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Vader did what he fucking wanted to do, Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until Palpatine finally said, you gotta, get the Inquisitors, because he would hunt down the Jedi with Inquisitors and just, and then it was like, okay, at some point,
Well,
he'll tell Vader, "Leave that shit to the Inquisitors. I need you for other stuff." You know.
So yeah, because like that was the thing. Like Vader was just hunting down the Jedi fucking relentlessly.
He was, and
yeah, that's like almost a thing I've heard with like the debate with Obi-Wan is like people saying like, well, yeah, like this girl knows that Anakin's Darth Vader because like everyone, you know, like Vader's like this powerful Sith Lord or whatever, and people would have put it together. But then I was like, but nobody knew who Vader was. Like that's
true.
The way I've understood it is like he isn't like out there doing things. He's just like this mad dog that gets kept on the leash until he isn't. And
oh, by the way, I'm probably going to slip up and say some spoilers for episode 4. If you haven't watched it yet,
don't talk about episode 4, man.
I might accidentally slip. I'll try my best. I'll try my best not to.
I'm caught up all the way. Yeah.
I'm caught up too.
Okay.
I'm caught up too. Okay. I'm all caught up. But I'm worried about people listening. I'm worried about people watching the show or listening to the show. I don't want to F it up for them if they haven't seen it yet. I'll try to not say anything that was in episode 4, but I will say this. I one thing I'm impressed by is that they're really doing their best. They're showing off Vader's power a bit in this show. I think. I mean, when he's going through that town and it's trying to, he's just not even really hard thinking about just grabbing motherfuckers with the Force and breaking their necks and shit. I mean, it's insane, dude. I mean, it's like it's really funny because when I think he gets like almost like the scent of Obi-Wan. I guess he just feels him there or something, right? And he's just walking toward it, and you can see him. He's still dragging this one dude behind him. He just lets him go.
Well, yeah, like he like forgot about him. Yeah, he's like, fuck you, dude. Go.
Yo, he was so funny, dude.
Like in the Hangouts, I've been describing Vader as like a fucking 80s slasher villain.
Yeah,
man.
Like Jason or Michael, man.
And it's like, sign me up, dude. Like that's what that's what I like him used as, and it's again like he's just this like he's like a force of nature, you know. That he gets released whenever they need him. And
I feel like this is the version of Vader where he was probably at his most dangerous because he sort of feels like there ain't shit to do except fuck things up. You know, just go fuck it up. I feel like he's very destructive. He'll kill a motherfucker with in the blink of an eye. He has no like thought.
Yeah, even like it's on his side.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which I mean that's been a thing since
sure it has.
Empire Strikes Back. You know him
right
choking people, but
now this But see even then though, that's he just doesn't like failure. He hates failure, I guess. But like I tell you what though, it's kind of funny in the Empire Strikes Back. It's like you're like, wow, that guy got killed. Promotion. It's like you better be careful though.
They just have to like carry on with their conversation like that didn't happen while like in the back, like some stormtroopers just like dragging this dude's body away.
Well, the one he's choking out the one admiral, right? While he's but by the way, not even there. He's doing it over like the telescreen, you know, choking him out, and he's just and he tells him like was Captain P. Was it Captain Piet? I guess I can't remember which one it was. He was a captain and he became an admiral. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, Admiral Piet, do not fail me. Meanwhile, this dude is next to him choking out.
That was Admiral Ozzel. Why do I know?
Yeah, it's funny as shit.
But
Vader is just at his most fun, I think, during this period of time when he's just
this is the first 10 years. You know?
Yeah, remember this. He doesn't know the kids are alive.
He's been Vader for 10 years.
Yeah. He doesn't know the kids are alive.
He's just been murking Jedi and living in Bacta and fucking hating.
Just stewing.
I
got a few issues with this show. But,
with the Kenobi?
I do think that they're using Vader really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I was worried about, but I think I think they're using him well. And it's kind of like, or what were you saying?
Let me guess, one of your issues. Reva. She seems to be everybody's issue.
Yeah,
I liked her more, and I don't say anything about what happened in episode 4, but I did like her more in that episode. My biggest issue with her was the same issue I had with Count Dooku. I don't want a Sith to just look like a regular ass person. You know what I mean? Like, I know she's not a Sith. I know she's an Inquisitor, but like,
yeah.
I don't know. That always just throws me. Not that we haven't had cool ones that did that. I mean, Darth Bane was just human too. He had some interesting like character design things. Darth Malgus, but he looked awesome because he had like the respirator, and even before that, he looked cool. But
Revan. Bane had the discoloration of skin and Sith eyes,
that shit on his eyes.
And then, then at one point he had the armor, the obelisk armor where it was kind of a combination of like good and bad for him, because like while that armor was on him,
kept him in.
You couldn't kill him. Couldn't do anything. But it just drained him of his force power constantly and caused him constant pain. Yeah. But he would utilize that pain to use the force really strong.
Yeah, it leveled itself out.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of my same issue with that I had with the Bad Batch, whereas like there's a lot going on in this show, and there's one part to me that's super interesting, and that to me with the Bad Batch was everything with Crosshairs and with the rest of the team, like that dynamic, and I was like, I want more of that, and I wouldn't be bored with however many 15 episodes of that, right? I understand that's a kid's show. They got to do a lot with it. They need to chase Omega around or whatever. And then with this, it's like it's the Anakin and Obi-Wan thing, and like everything that's like deals with other stuff. I'm like, I'm kind of like waiting for it to be over, because like I just want more of that, and maybe it'll pay off and make sense. Like I said, I'd like to read more in this episode.
I'm hoping that Vader and Obi-Wan have one more confrontation, because the first confrontation was not very good. I didn't like it.
To win to make that line in episode 4 make sense.
And I think Obi-Wan also has to. I don't win. You could say win. I don't even want him to win. He just needs to hold his own, man. Oh my god, I'm just thinking all Anakin.
You need to squash him a little bit. Put him in his place, man.
Here's the thing that we've been talking about too is like Obi-Wan by the end of this has to have faked his death.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because if not,
Vader's not. I feel like Vader's not surprised when he sees him in episode 4. Like he doesn't. He just says like he says a presence I haven't felt in some time or something. Yeah, like that.
Right.
So I don't think he.
But other people think Obi-Wan's dead, though.
Yeah. Or it's just gone, or
like when Obi-Wan.
They've never met him before.
Doesn't Vader tell?
Vader has to think he's dead by the end of this.
But doesn't Vader tell Tarkin in A New Hope that he feels Obi-Wan's presence? He feels, and Tarkin's like he can't still be alive. He's dead, right? He's got to be dead. Right?
He's like, I thought all the Jedi were dead or something.
Or something like that. He's like, get out of here, come on.
But like, Vader would not stop hunting his ass,
dude. So yeah, that's a good point too, and maybe the way this ends will sort all that out, give a reason behind it. But it's like, so I feel, man, I watched their first confrontation in that 3rd episode. And I just didn't feel anything like emotionally from it. And
I hear you.
That for me was like, well, I should feel more seeing this, even though we're probably going to get it. I think we have to get another one, but I just didn't feel what I felt that I should have felt in that. And it's not like I'm like, watching it skeptically.
Yeah.
I want to engage with it in that way. It's just
sure.
It's not, I'm open to it, and I'm trying. I did too, especially on a rewatch.
I feel like there needs to be more dialogue while they're fighting.
Me too. Me too.
I kind of feel like they need to talk a little bit more.
Vader isn't that much of a talker.
He's not, but with Obi-Wan, I got a feeling I think he would be.
I'm with you, Russ. I think like
I agree with
not Nick. He's all about his business, but like with this motherfucker,
this is the dude that
he needs to be different around him, you know, and get him alone, get troopers and the fucking bystanders out of it. And just have it be the two of them. I'd love to see that, man.
I mean, remember what he said? Remember at one point he tells Obi-Wan, "You're like the closest thing I have to a father." You know, I mean, Obi-Wan and him. Obi-Wan raised him. I mean, you know, from 10 on. You know, this guy that brought him into adulthood. You know, so
this is, and it's like just some fanboy shit, dude. If they don't give us a Clone Wars flashback, huge missed opportunity. I got a feeling there. You got you in there. You got Rosario Dawson two stages over. You know what I mean? Like get them all together for a little flashback.
I think they may. I think they're somewhere. Maybe you'll have Obi-Wan fall asleep and have a dream of something that dream something that happened. You know, I mean, it happens.
You already confirmed
of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
Yeah.
So no,
I heard it was a one-off, but
saying that I hope it is. I hope it is. But there have been articles saying that Ewan McGregor is open or like is interested in doing season 2, and what that means is that an interviewer said, "Would you be interested in doing a second season?"
That's exactly.
He's probably like, "Yeah, sure, I'd be up to it." And
sure,
then, like, that's their headline is that he would be. He's interested, as if he's like going to the reporter, like, "Man, I really want to do a season 2."
I had a good time with. I said to my son, I said, so we got the same actor that played Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. He says, yeah. I said,
and it's like now or never.
I said, now he's playing Darth Vader. And my son said, yeah. And I said, but he's not talking. And my son said, no, it's James Earl Jones. I said, so he's literally got a role as Vader, and it's a non-speaking. It doesn't no lines. And he said, yeah. And I went, I think that's the Anakin Skywalker everybody wished we had in the prequel.
Yeah, just a voiceover. Yeah, like how they did with Darth Maul.
Yo.
No whiny Anakin voice, none of that.
But James Earl Jones, that's his name, right?
James Earl Jones.
Multiple middle names.
But his voice is a lot lower than it used to be.
Dude, so I think he sounds okay in this. He sounded off in Rogue One. He was like kind of high and like, you know what I mean? Like in a little bit in Rogue One.
You know how Anna was explaining that to me? She said maybe Vader's like vocal thing wasn't working right.
Yeah, no, he had COVID.
Yeah, he had COVID. Well, it feels like that's so funny.
He's like,
even in a galaxy far away, they can't escape the Rona.
No way, man! It gets everybody. But it's hilarious to me though. I'm just like, this motherfucker is playing probably the biggest role he ever played in his life, and now he's playing Vader, but he doesn't get to talk.
And I think it is hard to judge if he's doing a good job because I feel like
it's all physical.
It's all physical, and I think he's doing okay. You know, it's not off-putting or anything, but then it's like,
and even when they were
some bat in the sun shit, like that looked pretty good too. You know, like I didn't have any complaints, and
even when they were throwing lightsaber, when you had some lightsaber ignites, you know, he was just, I don't know, Obi-Wan wasn't doing nothing but like holding it up, going, "Oh, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me."
Yeah, he made a turn. I'm glad to see it.
Man, we need it so bad. We need Obi-Wan and him to have another conversation, and we need Obi-Wan to like, "All right, bitch, it's on." You know, let's do this.
I was thinking about this. You know, with they mentioned Quinlan Voss's name.
Yes, yeah, they did. Yep.
You know, on that wall or whatever, and basically, you know, every Star Wars YouTuber that I watch is just like, it's a foregone conclusion that we're gonna see him. You know, I don't agree with that stuff. I think they might just name him and then keep it moving, right?
It's possible because I mean, isn't he's still alive? I think during this time, at least it's theorized that he is. I mean,
and I don't know if it's the last canon thing I read ended during the Clone Wars with Quinlan Voss. It was that book about him and Asajj Ventress.
Right. Yes. Right.
Wrote that. Claudia Gray, I think.
Yeah.
This is a book. I'd recommend it. But so I was thinking, like, man, how much do these cameos, like, do we put too much kind of hope into them, into seeing these cameos? Like movies like No Way Home and then like Doctor Strange, even though they're Marvel, not Star Wars, kind of did this too. And like seeing Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka in Book of Boba Fett. It's like, where does it, like, is there a line between just cameos for the sake of a cameo or just like necessary world building, which is what I think we got with Ahsoka in Book of Boba Fett. Like, yeah, it would
same here.
She would have crossed paths with Luke. And do we like expect those too much to where like it's unnecessary or we're like ruining things because we're like, we expect all these cameos?
I'm not sure. I feel like I do agree with you about the world building thing. I think that's what they're trying to go for with the TV show, with their shows that they're having on.
That gets mislabeled as cameos or fan service.
Right.
Like, but this is connecting these two things, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I hate fan service. I hate people saying that. It drives me crazy. So, look, first of all, what's wrong with it?
I hate the abuse of the term.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at now.
They don't like it, fan service. It's one of those terms, you know.
I know they're trying. I know they're going to do it. Because they're going to do an Ahsoka series. I feel like they're trying to make sure we remember that that's coming. Which I don't know why, because we're all going to remember. She's a hugely popular character. The fans love her. She's a hugely popular character. Everyone's going to be looking forward to that show, right? So, but I think that was her way of just dropping a line, and also it was a cool way.
It made sense because it was that bridge between Mando and Luke to
right. But it was also though a way too for remember there's this big space of time because we got those stupid sequel trilogy thing, and then we got and from the end of Jedi or Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens. Luke, we don't know what the fuck Luke's been up to, really. And now we know some things he's been up to, but there's still a huge gap of time where we don't know everything he was doing.
Yeah, well, from what we've seen, it turns out he's basically been doing what he did in Legends.
Essentially, that's kind of what it seems like so far. But I like that they had Ahsoka kind of hook up with him. It makes sense. One, Ahsoka knew his dad really well, right? In fact, he was a Padawan, right?
Friend of the family, and that's one of those lines where I said, "Man, if you're a Clone Wars fan, a Rebels fan, like that's one of those things like that." And that is like, is that line fan service because they know that only the people who are kind of in on all of it are really gonna appreciate, which is me.
Me too. I mean, I would notice. I appreciate because I've seen it all. I like to
maybe, but. I appreciate it as a fan.
Sure. And
but I would argue because some other people have made this argument.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue that the Clone Wars cartoon is pretty damn mainstream. It was on Cartoon Network. It was on Netflix.
Me too. I think it is.
And now it's on Disney Plus. And readily available, right with all the other Star Wars stuff.
Absolutely.
When you watch Bad Batch and you click down, it tells you to go watch Clone Wars,
Sure.
In Clone Wars, I think, it had, some really great moments. But there's a ratio, and it's almost 70-30. 70 of just not kid stuff, but just like, I don't know.
Well,
as an adult fan, stuff that you may not appreciate, kind of, just this generally, and then 30% of really good content. I talk about this probably every week. I don't know how it always comes up. Those last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, best Disney Star Wars content, period. I think even over Rogue One for me at this point. So good.
Isn't it funny because those last episodes almost you could almost look at them like a movie.
They did, yeah, exactly. They
were really cool. Like
no newsreel recap.
Yeah,
at the beginning. It's like they took it to just kind of say like we're gonna approach this last arc in a different way.
Yeah,
in like the best way. And I'll shut up because I talk about that every week.
But. No, like if you know, well, a lot of people look at Rogue One as like a prequel movie to A New Hope because it leads right into A New Hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could almost look at those last 4 episodes of Clone Wars as a prequel movie leading us into Order 66 and the events of Revenge of the and from it's
before and during. So I want
yes.
So cool if somebody could do a super cut.
Yeah, badass actually.
And it's like, fuck, dude. You got Rosario Dawson. You have Katie Sackhoff. You have Ray Park who can play Maul. Like,
true.
Man, I wonder, like, if they could make that happen in live action. Like all the other Mandalorians, like, just get some rando actors. You need Tamora Morrison's face scan. For the clones and everything, but like it would be cool to see that because it could be feasible. Now that's like my pipe dream if I had.
Yeah, really.
What have you guys heard about the next season of Mandalorian?
That Sabine or not Sabine? What's her face? Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
She's kind of the big bad as far as I understand.
She's coming after him for the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I heard.
It kind of would make sense because first of all, she's been lusting over the goddamn thing forever. Okay. And she's one of those that believes in the whole whoever has the damn Darksaber rules, rules over Mandalore. That's their thing.
In the cult,
yeah, I kind of feel like I feel like that's sort of gonna be, but it's gonna be weird because she's not really a bad guy. She's not a villain, she just isn't. But I got a feeling they're gonna make her kind of a villain, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of like, damn, I guess sometimes it comes across that way. There's like, 2 people can be not a villain, but if they're like what they're trying to accomplish crosses each other, somebody's gonna look like the bad guy, So
and that's a good villain when you're like, oh, I get why they're doing what they're doing,
right?
I'm interested to see what they do. I want to see that. I mean, they had either a trailer or like a sizzle reel at Celebration, and I am surprised that hasn't been made public yet. Because generally they tend to come out a few days, like they wait till the event's over, and then put them out. Which I get. I'm not mad at that. They want the people at the event to feel special and like they got their money.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get it. I mean, I understand that too, but I always hoped, okay, they get to see it first, but the rest of us need to see it pretty quick. Yeah.
And, like, another thing I've been thinking about with Star Wars is I want a payoff from Darth Maul in fucking Solo.
I know, man, and I worry about that because his inclusion there was definitely like an afterthought from everything I've read.
What's up, Ralphie?
Was like they were like, we need somebody to show up at the other end of this hologram, and
they're saying they can't hear you at all.
Me?
Yeah.
Dang, hold on a second.
Because I can hear him fine. No, weird. I think that I kind of
now, Sam.
Yeah, try.
Hello.
Say something.
All right, hold on.
You sounded low. Hello.
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 Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like just through
Oh wow, they got loud. That's good. Okay, there
YouTube or something. Yeah. Well, I think when I just had my microphone unplugged, I think you guys were picking me up through my AirPods.
That might be what it is. Okay.
But I mean, same setup I have every week. I don't know what's up. Like I'm in a different place, but like it's like a wire that plugs into my computer. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
It happens to me all the time, though.
Yeah.
Or something's not plugged in right or something, or I don't know. Settings get.
I'm gonna
What I was gonna say is
I'm gonna have to talk to Kate because I want another mic. I don't like how this one sounds.
Oh, well. I mean, if you look around, you could find something that's decently priced. I'm sure that you like.
I'm not going for decently priced. I'm going for what the fuck I want, man.
Oh my god!
I want to get one of the. Yeah, I do.
You're gonna buy one of the professional motherfuckers,
like
ain't you?
Has once I have like a. Hopefully, the new place I have a little bit more of like a setup, and I'd like to invest in something like that. I got this thing like off Amazon. It was like $9. You know what I mean?
It's tight, dude. Well, what I was gonna say
this
is,
one's a Razor Siren. It's not that.
Is that supposed to be like a good one?
It's okay.
Yeah.
When you get a new one, send me that one, man. I'll buy it.
What I was gonna tell you, Nick, is I think Darth Maul is also another character, in my opinion, that we have a lot of gaps of time between, like, sort of like events that we know what that happened, like the season where Sidious shows up, or Palpatine Sidious, whatever you want to call him, and he basically beats Maul and Savage's ass, kills Savage, and he basically, I guess he just imprisons Maul. I mean, he didn't kill him, so I'm assuming he just imprisons him somewhere. But Maul escapes. Maul gets away and gets out, because obviously he gets out because he ends up running fucking what's the damn crime syndicate? Black Sun or whatever.
Crimson Dawn
or whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot of space.
Rebels.
Yes, he's also in Rebels, and I think Rebels might take place after his Crimson Dawn days.
Well, I don't know about that, but man, you got to think.
Well, I'm not sure.
There's a gap somewhere between that part in Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, there is.
He's been out that whole time.
Right. And so he's been around. He's around the galaxy. So he's running crime syndicates.
He's a man about town.
He is, man. That Darth Maul is something else, man. I think that and also he's another fan favorite character. People like Darth Maul. He's a badass. People like him, and we're always curious as to. They could give me an 8-episode show on Maul. Fill in some time, for me. I don't care. Just throw some adventures with Darth Maul. I'd eat this shit right up because he's great, man.
I watch that shit, dude.
Especially later on, because I like that he is. There's a time where he's realized what the fuck he knows the plan, or he knew some of the plan. He didn't know all the plan, but he's starting to get pieces of the plan.
When he figured it out,
yes.
And then it's like there are times in Clone Wars where I'm like, he talks too much.
He does. He does.
Like going on like these like fucking soliloquies, and I'm like, this is not Darth Maul. And then I think they got better as it went on, because you went from Phantom Menace. The dude has like 3 lines. Right?
Yeah,
like,
but he was also a lot younger in
Yeah,
Phantom
you get
Menace.
the sense that, you get the sense just based on that, which is what stuck in people's heads from 1999 until 2010 when he came back to Clone Wars, that this is a man of few words. So when he came back to Clone Wars, he was like blah 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 blah.
Wow,
it felt off-putting to me.
Jesus, Sam, he didn't have no one to speak to for fucking over 10 years. Give the guy a break. He got a lot to say. Damn.
He's like me on a Saturday night. I'm like, I've had fucking
man.
all week. Like,
fucking A, he's got a lot of shit to talk, man. He's like, these motherfuckers.
What do you guys think about, like, there's been some, as far as like Reva is concerned, and like there's been like some controversy with, some toxic fans and some.
Yeah, I've heard that.
There's been some
there's been some racist things thrown around and shit. And I'm like, come on, man.
And
look,
like, even like Star Wars, like their like social accounts have kind of posted some shit about it. And
there are reasons to not like her character. I give you that. But believe me, don't make the reasons anything about her race or anything like that, because that's not what it is.
I think that's silly, man.
I do too.
And I think it's like, I just kind of picture it from what I've seen. It's like a pie chart, and there's like the smallest sliver is like actually racist people who are like saying that stuff on the internet, and then there is maybe a bigger sliver than that that's like oh, this is Disney like forcing these characters or these people down our throats or whatever, which I think is silly. I think if you think that like her being like a black female actress or whatever, if you think that's a political statement, then I think you're bringing your I would question why you see that as a political statement, right?
Yeah,
and then I think
agree.
there's a larger, and I think the rest of the pie is people that just don't like the character. They might have issues with her acting, which might be her fault, might be the director's fault. Which I think Deborah Chow, I thought she was stronger as a director before this series. So, but I think that's where most of the criticisms come from. Obviously, those ones, just those putrid ideas, get more attention,
right?
Because you just don't hear that stuff much anymore. Even though you hear it a lot on the internet, I think just the majority of people don't think that way. Something I've seen that's like was kind of worrying to me is I saw like a couple things on Twitter that like people had like retweeted who I like follow and things like that, where they're like, you're saying that like she can't act or, she can't deliver dialogue, but we know what you really mean. And it's like, well, no. If I say I don't like the way she delivers dialogue, that's actually what I mean. Like if you say that, and you're like, well, well, we know what you really mean, you fucking racist. Like that's silly, man. I don't think you should be looking for. You shouldn't be looking for that where it doesn't exist. And
that's trying to defend her by using something that has nothing to do with the criticism of her.
Well,
like
it's defending her by putting the worst. The worst claim that you can put on somebody. Yeah, because most people at that point aren't going to argue with you. They're
deflecting valid criticism with the race card isn't. It doesn't do anything for anybody.
It doesn't. But
to me is just as bad as like just being a racist.
Right?
Like
it's done way too much.
But like the thing is there's so many bad fans because every single person of color or every single person of a different sexual orientation gets it.
For sure, man. For sure. Except for Lando.
In large fucking numbers.
Yeah. And it's that thing we talked about this when we talked about like the kind of teacher scandal in teachers pushing, genders or like gender ideas and shit on their students or whatever. Whereas like if there's like a heterosexual couple, it's not a story. It's nobody bats an eye at it. Nobody thinks. But if it's a gay couple, then it's the studio making a statement or something like that, which I think is. I'm kind of with him, man.
No, I sort of understand. I get what you're saying, and I feel the same way. My only problem is I feel like there's this need now. And it's not necessarily a bad thing either. Don't get me wrong when I say this. I think it's not a bad thing to be all-encompassing. I think that's a good thing. Right? I think it's great. But I feel like some people might... some people don't say it the right way, and what they really mean is they might not feel like that's appropriate for what the show is about or what the fiction is about or whatever the fiction is. That you don't need that.
I think about that a lot. Like, because I think there's a line. Does it serve the story, or does it distract from the story?
That's it. And or does it even matter to the story? Is my problem.
In which case it would distract from it.
Yeah.
Also, if you have a character who's gay or whatever, if that's their defining characteristic, then I think that's a failure because that shouldn't.
I agree.
Be your defining
character will become a footnote.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
Or there will be a like a token character for for that reason, and that shouldn't be anybody's like defining characteristic as their sexual orientation. Like it should be a small piece of the puzzle that makes you
right.
And I'll say like I was talking in the chat about the show Young Justice. They tend to weave a lot of that stuff into it, and it doesn't feel like a distraction.
They seem to do a good job with it, don't they?
Yeah,
Young Justice has
man.
become one of my absolute favorite shows, by the way, in the world.
Yeah,
I
dude,
love
great,
it now.
I
thought I liked it before originally. I think the past 2 seasons have been unbelievable.
Dude,
I've loved both of them. And
I was thinking that too.
Season 3 was amazing.
Yeah,
so good, season 3 was good. Yeah,
we finished season 4 the other night, and Thursday was a season finale. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, those last 2 seasons, great. So
I agree.
The boys got really into it this season.
Yeah.
So like with season 4, so we went back to season 1 since then and started watching it.
That's cool.
It was just as good then, man. It was
you did a rewatch.
They could do a little bit more now that they're not on Cartoon Network.
True.
But it was just as good then. Yeah. But yeah, like I only brought that up just to say like there's a way to do this stuff. You know, where you don't, where it's not pandering. It's not pandering, and it's not you're not boiling these characters down to these immutable characteristics and saying this is the thing that defines you. Because I think when you do that, then you're doing nobody any good.
Yeah, because then the character just becomes a stereotype.
Yeah,
and you deserve criticism for the people who are against that, and even the people who are for that. You know,
I think it's tough. It's tough for us to know what creators are. Like it's hard for us to know what like the motivation of a creator. Of any kind of fiction. Like it's hard to know, are they trying to make a political statement, or do they just think it'd be an interesting twist to throw in to make it, or just show this character socially, this is them and this is them socially, you know, and then maybe they stand out because they're a little differently in some way. I mean, it's hard to tell, you know, like, oh look at her, she's at a party, and oh, that's not a boy she's with, that's another girl.
Yeah,
you know? You know, so I'm not sure all the time. To me, it's become so normal to me now, though, that I'm desensitized to it. Like I don't.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
I am.
in I'll say working in the line of work that I'm in, like that stuff is just, it's so much more not common because there's more kids that are like that than there were maybe 10 years ago, at least that
right.
Kind of from what I see. But it's just like everyone's like, yeah, this person's gay, and okay, next topic. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like someone like that is like the gay kid anymore, which I think is a good thing. I think the more that just gets normalized, the better, because again, you don't want to boil people down, or you don't want people to pull their entire identity from those things.
Exactly. And I think that's why you have to be careful when you're creating any kind of fiction, like you said, is to not make that too much of an identity thing. And you know, it's one thing if you're trying to get the audience to get to know this character a little bit, and you want to show them some things about this character and this character's life are going on. But it's another thing when you make it too much about that, I think, because nobody cares. Like look, if it's a badass, like we use Star Wars, for example, if it's a badass Jedi Knight with a lightsaber, I don't give a shit if they're gay or not. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to see him swing a lightsaber and kick some ass. Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know?
To me, like, here's a way for me to sum that up. I could give 2 shits about North Star, the X-Man, as a character.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing about him that is interesting, except that he's a footnote is the first out gay Marvel character, right?
Yeah.
But I can look at other characters like fucking Wiccan and Hulkling and enjoy those characters because besides being gay, they have a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And they're interesting in their own right, and it's not just because of that.
Right. Same thing with like Midnighter and Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
Midnighter and Apollo are two of my favorite characters in fiction. To me, they're fucking amazing.
And then like with in Young Justice, like with what they did with Aqualad, like you already cared about him before like they revealed any of that stuff, and it doesn't change. It doesn't change who he is at his core.
It doesn't.
It just adds another. It just for him adds like a not like a level of threat, but just like something else that's precious to him.
Yeah.
That you can harm him with. Which if it wasn't Garth and it was just some Atlantean girl, it wouldn't be any different. And I think that's the way to do it. Like that's.
I agree. By the way, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back.
What's up, Jason?
I felt like Alcalad was gay early on anyway. I just did. Because I felt like they made him very,
dude. In watching
very
feminine
in a lot of ways, and a lot of
watching season 1, like
I was gonna make a
like
really bad joke.
Up, it's cool. It's cool to see.
Absolutely, you're gonna make a bad joke. All right, is it really bad?
He's gonna say it.
I was gonna say, yeah, Russ. You can always smell your own kind.
I know. I love the sweet. I love those sweet shakes, honey. Let me tell you.
Oh my god! Oh god! Make him stop, man. But dude, that's the thing. I even tell like my wrestlers about that. I'm like, guys, like, don't make this your whole identity. Like you are.
Yeah.
You're not just a wrestler because
sure, no, absolutely.
Experience of like, there's one day where that shit's taken away from you.
Yeah,
and then you don't want to be left just feeling like you're in the void. Like you want to say like, okay, I am like my identity is my name. Like I'm Sam and I'm all these different things. So if one thing falls out or one thing's taken away, which is what life does to you, you're still you and you still have your identity and it can change over time and everything. And
I think that's good advice for especially for young people.
I think he means.
Young people definitely need to hear that so that they understand that, who you are is not defined by this or this.
And you see that with middle school kids for everything. Like they're a softball player and they're really fucking good. But that's it, and that's kind of where they put all their cards in, or they're a basketball player, or they're just whatever it may be. And that's a typical thing for kids to go through at that age and then grow out of.
Right. Absolutely.
So you can't stop it, but you can just say like, this doesn't last forever.
Everybody embodies a part of their personality for a time.
Sure. That's true. And there are some parts of your personality that are going to stick out more than others,
Yeah.
But so let me ask you, just above all, without giving away anything for episode 4, what did you guys think of episode 3? Did you like it pretty well, pretty good, and everything?
Yeah, episode 3.
I'm enjoying the entire series.
I am too, in spite of my issues with it, and my main issues are just with Reva, but but I don't. No, I know, right? But I don't have a problem with her acting, because to me, that's a director thing. If she's delivering her lines properly, the director's going to leave it in. If she's not, the director's going to say, "Cut. Let's redo this again," and direct the actor. Direct the actor to do the better job.
But there's also the argument that the director can only get what the actor gives them.
True.
Then you know what?
And that's what I'm saying. It's like I said at the beginning, like she might just suck. And
it could be that this isn't her role. She's frankly new to acting, isn't she?
Well, so
she hasn't done very much, right?
The only other thing I've seen her in was the Queen's Gambit, and she was great.
Right, she was great in Queen's Gambit. Yeah, she was good. That's true.
Been a better role for her. I don't know what it is, but so I don't question her strength as an actor because of that. Because I've seen her do otherwise. But in the same hand, I didn't care for Michael Shannon as as Zod.
Yeah.
And it was his delivery, which I think was a directing thing. And he might be my favorite actor of all time. Like, I think that dude is stellar, top tier in everything else he's in. But I wasn't crazy about him in that role.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. There are actors that there are roles where they're gonna have a hard time with it. It's not you know,
something like I said with Michael Shannon, like it's 99 times out of 100. You know,
sure, absolutely,
he delivers A+, and then in that role,
yeah.
and I think it was the direction that he had to be really wooden, and that's not
right.
That's not. I think he may have been miscast in that because
it could be, and it could be this is something that happened with her. Perhaps she's been miscast. I'm not sure. But I was gonna say to you, Nick, was you're right about that. But if that's the case, then the director should have said, "We got to shut down, and we need to get another actor because Disney has got money. Disney can do it. It's not a problem. Get someone else in here. Let's get to it."
I don't know,
and
man.
I don't know. I just think they wanted her to be the way she is for some reason. I really do. I think what they're getting out of her is what the director wants, and I think it's is it bad acting or is it just that's the way she's supposed to be? I don't know. Sometimes when she's speaking her lines, to me it seems like she's forgetting her lines. But
I actually don't have a problem with
I don't know.
Like I was talking about it in the chat too. Like I'm starting to become like the Mikey likes it from fucking Life cereal and Wheaties.
You eat it, Mikey's everything.
Yeah, I mean I'm just enjoying so much.
Dude, I love to see it though, man. Because like that's like always where I'm at, dude. Like if I don't enjoy something and someone else is loving it, I'm just like good. Like fucking good, you know what I mean? Like the Boys is an example for me. Like I got through a lot of season 1 and I didn't get past it, and I don't have a one single thing to say bad about that show. But the fact that EE loves it makes me super fucking happy. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like that dude, you know, he's really critical, and I'm
Kate had to fucking binge watch that and Diabolical before I'd let her watch season 3.
You should. She should. She should do that.
So,
it's
especially
season 1 and 2.
She's excited, and then we watched.
That sounds fun, man.
And Diabolical adds another layer to some of these characters, though, too. Especially Homelander. Homelander is a fucking psychopath. We already knew that already, but I think it's becoming more and more. It's bad, man. But I just watched episode episode 4. I think it just came out, and it was unfucking real, dude. That show gets better and better every episode.
episode 3, Justice for Thomas, man. Justice for Thomas.
That's great, dude. Great. I love that, man. That show, man. It's a wonderful show. There's not one thing that they do on that show that I go, oh my god, why did they do that? That's a terrible actor. Oh no.
Dude, the comics were even more brutal.
Yes, I have actually read. I haven't read all of them. I've read a lot of them.
Yeah.
The comic. I was telling Anna that like we were watching some of the episodes for this season so far, and there's been a lot of there's some gore. There's always gory scenes in The Boys. We know that, right? One of them though, Anna just was like, "Holy shit! Did that just happen?"
What, the first episode?
Yeah. You know exactly what's.
Hey, was that fucking Warren? No, Garth Ennis, right? Did The Boys?
Yeah.
Okay, I get him and Warren Ellis confused.
And I told Anna, I said, "You think that this show is really gory?" I said, "I'm telling you." I said to Anna, if you read the comic books, you might think the show is actually lightening things up a little bit. The comic books are rough, dude. There's some savage shit in the comics. It's crazy. I mean, damn.
I think the Boys is his most gory besides Crossed.
I've never read that.
Cross.
I'm gonna look him up real quick and see what else.
That was an Avatar. I don't know if it's still going. That was an Avatar book, man. And Avatar will publish whatever the fuck they want, man.
So yeah, he did Preacher, The Boys, Hellblazer, Punisher. I read some of his Punisher stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, Punisher Max. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He does something.
Somebody in the chat. No, it was EE was saying that Vertigo was like knockoff comic books.
Yeah,
just talking shit, man. That motherfucker. And he knew he didn't believe what he said. He's just talking.
That's just him trying to stir the pot.
He was calling the Sandman. He was saying, that's the. But so the problem was Maya replied back and said, "Oh no, so Vertigo was," and explained what Vertigo was. And I said, "Don't do it. He's just talking shit."
Yeah, he's just trying to start something. That's what he's trying to do.
He doesn't want to have his mind. So he's just talking shit.
Yeah,
he's being a troll, dude. He's a troll.
It's like someone saying Darth Vader is the worst character ever created, and you're like, why would you say that? You don't even believe it yourself. Stop.
And he does what I do.
It's not right.
He argues for the sake of it, man.
God.
So I can't be mad at it.
What
so
is
funny.
your favorite Vertigo book?
Man,
I don't know.
Dude, probably so. It's either Transmetropolitan or what's that Brian Vaughn one?
Fucking why?
By the Last Man. One of those two. Newer stuff for me, but or Transmetropolitan's old. That was Grant Morrison, right? Spider.
No, that's Warren Ellis.
Okay, yeah, Warren Ellis, dude. Yeah, Spider Jerusalem was the dude's name.
Damn.
Or that was a character's name. Yeah. That was good, and then I think Why the Last Man. I've read most of Why the Last Man, so I think that's that one really stuck with me. That's a good book.
Do you know what any of them were, Russ?
Sorry, what's that?
So, yeah, so I like once you look at the titles, they jump out. Like, yeah, I know all this shit.
Like, Russ, do you know what any Vertigo books were?
Yeah, I know about a few.
Do you have a favorite one?
I don't know that I do because I just haven't read enough stuff from Vertigo to really.
Mine is off the fucking radar. Mine's Flex Mentallo.
Flex Mentallo.
I've never.
Flex Mentallo, the man of muscle mystery. Spun out of Doom Patrol.
It sounds so familiar though to me. That sounds so familiar, but I just don't know if I ever read it.
Doom Patrol.
Grant Moore.
Was that Vertigo though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doom Patrol was Vertigo.
Yeah.
Because I've read some Doom Patrol in the past.
Animal Man.
Yeah.
So the
I've never read Animal Man.
Alan Moore Animal Man was like just better than it ever deserved to be. Like, was the Alan Moore League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, was that under Vertigo?
No, that was
okay. I got that on the way.
That was an Image book, man. That was like Wildstorm or something.
I have that on the way just from Amazon because we watched the movie the other day, and I read it in like 8th grade, and I was like, I need to read this again. I'm looking it up now. There's V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
I never read the comic book for V for Vendetta. I mean, I watched the movie, but I never read the comic there. I bet that's good though.
Dude, I did, Russ. I rented that shit from the library.
Did you? I thought the movie was cool, but I've heard people tell me that the movie isn't shit compared to.
Dude, I didn't realize that 100 Bullets. That was the first. That was a Vertigo book, but that's when that's what put Brian Azzarello on my radar.
Fucking. Oh God, but yeah, Flex Mentallo, the man of muscle mystery.
I know I've never read that, but I'm telling you, the name sounds very fucking familiar to me. I know I want to say I swear I've seen one of them before. One of the comic books before. I have.
Have you ever read comics from the 70s and they would have the Charles Atlas ads in them? Where the nerd would get the sand kicked in his face. Flex Mantello is basically a Charles Atlas ad come to life.
That's great. Jesus Christ. I like that, actually. I think kind of fun.
Yeah, man.
Where all of a sudden he gets badass and just starts fucking. That's kind of cool.
And he fights just like he fights just like these off the wall, just conceptual characters, and it's
that's cool though.
And then like, the whole conceit of the narrator and it's to me it's peak Morrison, and I love Morrison.
I gotta find that and read. I've never read that, man.
What about the
badass?
Filth?
The what?
The Filth.
I've never read that either.
That's more. That's some more Morrison, man. That's woo. Yeah. Like I can't even describe the Filth.
The Filth. I love that. That's cool.
It's one of those books that's like it. You can't even describe what happens on the first couple pages.
Dude, so I'm looking at this just real quick, and like their kind of original people were like, and I don't know if this is super accurate, but like they had guys like Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, Garth Ennis, Rachel Pollack, Peter Milligan, and then like a lot of really good writers kind of got their start here. Brian K. Vaughan, who was mentioned already, Ed Brubaker, shit, dude, like they my favorite thing is when you have someone like that who like starts out somewhere, goes and does their Marvel and DC thing, and then comes back to like an independent production house. That's when I feel like you get like, yeah, this is them at top tier, you know. Brian Vaughan, dude, Saga, fucking Saga, dude. Like that was a perfect example of that. You know, Hickman with books like East of West. Did you read, Nick, any of the Black Science?
No.
I forgot who did that, but that was another example of that, of someone.
My shit is Manhattan Projects.
Yeah, dude. Oh my fucking. That was Hickman, Nick Pitara. Did the art for that, which is like right up our alley. You know what I mean? Like just Frank Quietly.
Yeah.
Not even
not an imitation. It's just like,
but just like in that vein, like and it's just those two. Like I can't name anybody.
Cameron Stewart.
Black Science was Black Science was Rick Remender, but still same thing. This is post Uncanny X-Force. Like he's an Image doing whatever he wants to. But yeah, that Manhattan Projects. Oh my god, dude. Just so they're making that movie. Kind of speaking of that, the next Christopher Nolan movie is about Oppenheimer, man, and Cillian Murphy's playing him.
Oh shit!
Cast of that movie is stellar, man. It's everybody that has worked with Nolan basically in the past, and then it's like a bunch of other people. But I'm really excited for that. It'll probably come out next year. So, but what a story!
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Why not? It's different.
Read Manhattan Projects. If like that shit is off the fucking rails, it's so good. It's so good and just weird, man. It's so weird.
That's fun, dude.
Just like that's all you got to say about that book is Einstein.
Yeah, dude, in the Monolith, and it's like it's one like just kind of classic Jonathan Hickman, where like all of this stuff exists in his brain, and has it all figured out, and he just gives you a little piece at a time, You know, it's so good.
What like if you guys had, all right, you know how they did that golden record and sent it out into space?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they put 5 songs on it to, for the aliens. What 5 comics would you put on in there?
Oh my god, that's good, man.
And do you want to do single issues or stories, like trades?
I think both. Just like whatever.
Okay.
Whatever jumps. It might be a single issue, might be a story. I would. I don't know. It's tough because I want to be like, here's Uncanny X-Force, but it does depend so much on what came before it. Yeah. You have to kind of know who Apocalypse is to appreciate the first trade, at least of that. So it's like you almost have to lean towards like indie stuff. I think you can get from. I think Mike could get enough from like a Long Halloween, but then like year one, it's like it's good, but I don't know. Do you got one on the tip?
Long Halloween is really good.
Yeah,
I kind of got mine. I think. All right. First off, I think you have to put in.
Watchmen would be one of them for me. I don't know if it would be number one, but it would be one of them.
Stanley and Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four has to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Most important comic run in the history of comics.
Oh, really? Why? So why is that? I'm not saying I disagree. Why is that?
Because it's the first run of 2 top creators, always at the top of their game for over 100 issues.
Yeah,
never been done before. Was only just recently broken by fucking Bendis and Bagley on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Think about all the concepts that were introduced into Fantastic Four that are normalized in the Marvel Universe now. The Inhumans. Adam Warlock.
It's just like how many villains were introduced?
Galactus,
Doctor Doom, that went on to be
Silver Surfer.
Yeah, like kind of top tier Avengers level villains.
Yeah.
Kang the Conqueror started in Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four, actually, that comic run is
Agatha
where
Harkness. Is now getting her own series on Disney Plus.
I would be mad I wouldn't be mad about it. I would be like, kind of roll my eyes at that. But I think that actress that plays her, she's great, man. So I think that show's gonna be good.
Oh, what's her name? She's the one. She's really known for comedy. Yeah, she does a lot of comedy and stuff, dude. She really
so she was in the first thing I saw her in was Step Brothers.
Yeah,
but she's been in some. She's can be a serious person too.
I'm trying to.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of what else, but I mean, there's countless shit.
It's it's tough because like you want. I have to separate it
from
Like,
Skrulls.
Yeah.
And
it's like that question itself. It's like it's like hard for me. What I'm having a hard time is like, what is self-contained? What is good on its own without having like emotional attachment from years past of other content, be it from comic books, movies, video games, especially for a lot of the X-Men stuff. That's a tough question.
Then I think for my second, so I'm thinking just 5, right? That's fair. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams run on Batman.
Yep. Because like that's that character.
I wish I could remember. I wish I remembered comics
about that character.
You guys are so awesome. I wish I paid more attention to who the writers were of comics when I read comics a lot back in the day, because I just didn't care who wrote it. I was just want to read it.
Nick, when did you start doing that? Do you think where you were like, I don't even care what the character is. If this person's writing them, I'm going to read that.
See, I don't think I've ever done that. I just don't think I've ever cared.
The first thing I noticed it in, all right, my introduction to comics was my parents divorced when I was young, so I would go
right.
with dad on the weekend. Well, Dad wanted to go party and shit. So
of course.
Nick,
I was your dad.
Yeah, Nick got left with a lot of different people. So one of the people I got left with was actually my aunt on my mother's side, my Aunt Lisa. and her son Adam collected comics, and he went into the military, and he gifted me a box of comics.
Oh shit, dude!
In that,
it's a hero origin story, man.
Dude, I had a Hulk 181. Okay. So it was dog-eared to fuck. It would have been graded like a 2, not worth a goddamn thing. But
sure,
doesn't matter.
But I had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a goddamn huge hunk of Walter Simonson's Thor.
Oh, nice, man.
And that was where I first figured out that, oh my God, like, okay, so different people write this. It's because, like, there was something that came after. It was right after his run, so there was something afterwards. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't as good. And I was like, oh, shit. I would just wish he was back. But,
oh, dude, what a story, man. Yes, I love that shit, dude.
But yeah,
it was
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say number 3. Because when you talk about characters that are globally recognized for comic book, 3 of them are comic book characters, and they are Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree that
So I think for the third one, for a Superman story, All-Star Superman.
That's good, man.
All-Star Superman is the perfect Superman story.
Yeah, I mean it is.
I don't think
it's good.
I don't think that if you read just All-Star Superman,
I
don't think you need to read anything else about Superman.
No, you get it all, and it came at a time where it's like it did the thing that like the Dark Knight Returns did, where it's like you think every story that could have been told has already been told about this character. That did a lot for Superman without detracting without necessarily changing the status quo. And then it's also like your dream team, Nick, of fucking Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly. And it's like, dude, I think like the way that Frank Quietly drew Superman versus Clark Kent, and it's all about like, hey, dude, it's so good, but it's like the way that he used posture to show the two characters, like that's top tier stuff that goes a lot of probably above a lot of really good artist heads.
Now the next question is, what do we say? Because I got 3 there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So for number 4, I have a fight between 2. Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns.
That'd be tough, man.
Which one better encapsulates that period? You know, that dark feel
of the mid to late 80s.
Yeah,
we're deconstructing superheroes. We're doing it in different ways. It's tough because with Batman, it's years after his prime, but I feel like you get a really good sense of who Batman is.
Right.
Like he's in the fight. He like this is a dude who loves to suffer. This is a dude who, or maybe doesn't love it, but finds his meaning in that. He finds his meaning in that suffering. Which is why, like, you know, we talked about writers a minute ago. Like that was why, like Frank Miller was that first one for me. And I wasn't growing up in the time that he was putting out a lot of stuff, but the first book that I went and I'd had comic books since I was 3, but the first one that I went and bought and pursued with my own money was The Dark Knight Returns. And it was because Frank Miller did it, and I liked his art, even though back then it varied wildly from panel to panel, especially from book to book. But yeah, it's like, what is which one does more? And I think like, because that's one where like my question would be like, does it stand alone enough? You know, and I think it does. you get the origin, you get everything in it.
Yeah, like I don't know, like if Watchmen stands up to Dark Knight.
I know a lot of people like Watchmen a lot. I've tried to. I've read a couple of Watchmen comics, and they were okay. You know, it just wasn't my thing, man. But I don't know.
Let me put it to you this way: I enjoy the Zack Snyder version of Watchmen better than I enjoy the Alan Moore version of Watchmen.
Yeah, dude, and it's like, what do you do with that when you have limited time, limited money, you know, and you kind of got to pick or choose. And it's like, it's almost like a revisionist thing. Like he got to kind of revise it in a way that it works for movies. And I love that movie, Watchmen movie. I think it's great, especially like the extended cut. It kind of features everything. I think it's really good. Yeah. I know it gets hated on, and maybe justifiably so, but I enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah, I enjoy that movie immensely. But that would be my thing, is either, you know, to represent on that 5 list, you know, you would have to have one of those two. And
one of those two, yeah.
My choice would be Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm. I think that does enough. Because there is an uplifting message to it, which you get with Watchmen, but it's different. You get with The Dark Knight Returns this message of it's weave through the beginning. This would be a great death. This would be a great death. To this is going to be a good life.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that's something that should resonate with everybody, right? Like, what are you doing with yourself? Are you what are you putting out into the world as far as what do you what kind of impact you want to leave? It sounds cheesy, and maybe it is, but
nah, man, I'm all about that right now. Like, what kind of energy are you putting out?
Yeah, for sure. And I appreciated that at 13 when I first read that, and I appreciate it now in the same way. 20 years later, this is a message that of just not giving up. It's like these super kind of banal, almost cliche points, but what do you want? And I think that is something that is really it's captures the human spirit. Yeah, so you can send that alien, send them that.
Yeah. And then I think number 5 has to be Chris Claremont's X-Men.
Now, what makes his X-Men story stand out above the rest?
Because everything you think about of X-Men
came from
Chris Claremont.
So pretty much he's kind of like the one who really defines the X-Men, you would say?
Right. Yeah.
All right, that's what you're saying.
The Phoenix, he put Wolverine on the team, co-created Storm, Warpath.
Holy shit.
He was the writer of the X-Men from the 70s up into the 90s.
That's a run.
Yeah. It is a hell of a run. It's a long time, man. It's a long time. That's pretty badass.
The Phoenix, all of that is him. The Hellfire Club.
Oh, really? He's the one of the Hellfire Club, huh? That's
all that shit in the 80s.
The Hellfire.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Fucking
shit.
The Australian period of the X-Men. All of that was him.
Yeah, I can see why you say that, Dan. It's like everything anyone else has written, though. Sounds like they basically go off his template.
They have to. It's just like
because
It's just he is the most important writer in Marvel history next to Stan Lee.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's definitely like you said, he kind of defines the X-Men.
Yeah, and
That's
the
cool.
X-Men are what saved Marvel.
Oh God, yeah.
The X-Men and Spider-Man.
The X-Men were really cool, dude.
And that's the thing. Like Spider-Man does not have that being that iconic character. I don't think that Spider-Man has that story that stands up to any of those listed.
Probably not, but that's because I feel like every writer that's ever written Spider-Man, it's like I don't know. I've always felt the X-Men have pretty deep stories, especially for Marvel. I always felt like X-Men has been real. The X-Men comics were always the comics that were taking on some real serious shit.
Right.
Like I would find myself getting angry reading X-Men comics sometimes because I just didn't like the injustice of what was happening in the story, and I get frustrated with it while I'm reading. I'm like, God damn it, and Spider-Man, I always felt with Spider-Man comics, it was always kind of like, I mean, I'm not trying to say Spider-Man didn't get occasionally deep a little bit into some stuff, but most of the time it was you start a Spider-Man comic, it could be a multi issue arc, you never know, but most of it was he's gonna kick ass, some shit's gonna happen, he's gonna win the day. That's it, I mean, it wasn't. I always felt like there was Spidey comics were a quick wrap up.
Yeah, I just like I'm enjoying Spider-Man still.
No, sure, absolutely.
But like it's just like Spider-Man doesn't seem to go that deep.
No, it doesn't. No, I don't think it ever. I don't know that it ever had it. Like I said, it's had its moments where it has.
Yeah,
with certain stories, but
now, there's been some dark shit in Spider-Man.
There has been, but dark doesn't always equal deep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where you have some real like I always felt like Marvel, especially in the past, would it was a struggle to always find them trying to take on handle real shit that was going on in the world and incorporate it into their comic books. And they would do it, but not on a regular basis. It was kind of like you'd catch it. I feel like X-Men did it a lot. X-Men did that shit a lot, man. I mean, this whole X-Men story is about basically racism. it's a whole trying to wipe out a whole population of people.
Dude, yeah. So like Russ, you mentioned, you and Nick both mentioned like some of the better stories from Spider-Man. It's like you can have your Spider-Man's, have your Kraven's Last Hunt, and
sure,
that's really good in its own right. But like when you have X-Men, where kind of that meaningful social commentary is baked into its DNA. And the inception of those characters in these stories, where it's like it kind of puts it on a different level. Spider-Man is definitely more personal. Like you could be like, yeah, I relate to this character one-to-one as a person, but X-Men is that allegory. It's that parable for for all these different things.
I think there's social commentary in X-Men,
where I think X-Men is elevated to modern myth.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. You don't know. That's a good one. Yeah.
I use the terms parable and allegory, right?
Yeah.
Like I did that intentionally to
and that goes off of what you were just saying, Russ, too.
It's to me, X-Men, the X-Men story. And I mean, and I'm talking about multiple writers have accomplished this in X-Men, where they would write, who have written X-Men, where you will have a story with stories that are directly can relate to what's happening in the world, and like I said, the X-Men story on its own is happening in the world. It's just not. I mean, it's not mutants, but it's somebody of a certain skin color, of a certain religion, or something. That kind of thing.
And that's the thing, Russ. It's not limited to one of those things. It's it's like it goes from that to somebody who's just
Dave?
like, "What's up, Davey?"
Hey, Dave.
From that to someone who's just like a fucking outcast or a misfit.
Exactly.
You know
exactly.
What I mean? So like, there's not maybe this like
you're right
social construct thing that makes you different or other, but it's like you just don't fit in.
Right.
For whatever reason, maybe it's just a phase, and maybe it's, and that's like something that anybody who's read comic books can relate to, because we've all felt that at some points in our lives, and maybe still today, where it's like, I'm gonna really open up to this group of people, you know, like I'm like that with people at my work. Like I'm like, I don't tell them the shit that I'm into really, because I just like, I don't know, like I don't want to be judged in a certain way. And
I've always let my geek flag fly, because I just figure, you know, if I don't tell you what I like, you know, and I try to hide that, it's going to come out sooner or later, and then you know,
dude, that's a
hazing
is
worse,
man.
then.
Yeah, that's a discussion, man, because that's like I do with certain people, but like, because I say, like, I have like my Facebook and I have my Instagram. My Instagram, it's like on my main page, it's like all the shit that I do in my free time, which is like I read books and I make toys, basically, you know. So it's like I have like all these people that I work with that have, like, because my account's private, just because a lot of the kids are on Instagram now, right? And they're always trying to follow me or whatever. So like, but a lot of those are like people that I work with that I just like never accepted. And if they ask me why, I'm like, oh, I just don't get on there, which is not true. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a fault in me, that I'm not just like, yeah, this is me. This is what I do, and I don't know.
And like, what I've actually found in doing that is like people become more interested in it as long as you're just like, yeah, this is my shit, you know.
Yeah,
and you own it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hide it from people. I never wanted to let anyone know, you know, that I was like into this stuff. And then I don't know, something happened to me. I guess I just hit a point in my life where I just said, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, and it's definitely a thing too. And it's like, it's for me, it's not so much like the comic books and stuff like, because that is definitely more mainstream than it was.
Sure, absolutely.
10, 13 years ago. It's for me, it's like I'm just not as open about like the toy stuff, and it's like maybe that's just a weird quirk with me that I don't want to, you know, divulge that with everybody. But I've had people come to my house and that are definitely not, like, they don't even watch the Marvel movies, you know what I mean? But like they've seen like my details, or my, like, the one Detolf that I have, and they're like, this shit is cool, you know, like they don't know anything about it, but like they just think that it looks cool and it's presented in such a way. So I think, like, I don't know, I think it's just a weird hang up that I have, you know.
It's I've gotten to a point now where I think I'll tell my like everyone I work with knows, you know, they know I go to conventions. Mm-hmm. They know I collect all kinds of shit, you know, all kinds of figures, all kinds of and now it's to the point where sometimes they'll go, "Hey Russ, did you see this?" And they'll pull something up on Amazon or something, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I saw it." I was like, well, look at you looking at them. You know, and like, it just came up on my you know, things I might be interested in. I'm like, "Oh really? Look at you. All right." But it's kind of it. I used to be, I would hide that stuff because I just didn't want the mockery. But now I don't think I don't know if I get the mockery anymore. And now it's just, you know.
Because I don't think anyone's gonna like mock me, but it's just like, what are they gonna? I don't know. What are they gonna think, like, in this professional setting? You know?
Yeah.
But like one of those things that's kind of cool though and feels rewarding is when you are out about it, you know, and then like your friends or like coworkers or boss or whatever gets into something and they're asking you for advice about it, and you kind of, you know, get to take their nerd cherry a little bit, you know.
Yes,
dude. Yeah. So I'll say, like, right here where I am, if you look in this fucking StreamYard mirror right here, there's a Detolf back there. This is my brother-in-law. Like, he was my one of my sons got a Lego set, and like he was over at the house, and he's like sat in. This was when Sonny was like 4 or 5, and like couldn't follow the directions on his own, like he can now. But my brother-in-law was like, dude, this shit, like, that was fun. And now he's like balls deep in Lego. and it's just like he's like, I don't know what it, like, I like building them. It's relaxing. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like that's exactly what, like whenever I'm making a figure or something like that, there's like maybe not so much with like following Lego instructions, but there's like a kind of puzzle aspect to it, or like a problem solving thing maybe. But yeah, like 3 years ago, like I don't know, I would have never expected like this, because he's like in every way like a normie, you know what I mean? Like he's just like like likes Michigan football, you know, like just kind of your standard dude, but like he's just got really into Lego, and it's like something that we bonded. Or I'm not as into Lego. I don't buy any of that shit for myself, but like my kids are really into it, and that's like, if you have young kids, that's Lego's the best investment, because that shit, it never gets old. You can
Cal
buy
never
a set.
got into it, man.
Yeah.
Really? Wow, dude. I think that's
it's
like,
I don't know. RJ liked building certain things. You know, he would get like, he liked certain Lego sets, Star Wars stuff mainly. You know, that's about all he was ever interested in. You know, I mean,
like when I was a kid, man, I just wanted fucking bricks. I didn't care about the sets. I just built.
Yeah, he's going to build shit,
dude,
right? Build your own shit.
Now I'll tell you, man. Like it's come a long way, dude. Like what they're able to do with, like, to the point where like I use Lego so much when I'm making customs, because a lot of what I've done recently is like taking an old like DC Direct 5-point of articulation figure, and I'm like, okay, how do I make this as articulated as a Mafex toy, right? So like there's a lot of like Lego kind of like ball joints and shit that I've used, and like leftover Rebel Tech joints and stuff. Like they've come a long way, man. And it's my son, he's mostly into like the Minecraft stuff, but like some of the stuff that he's made on his own, I'm like, that's pretty slick, man.
Yeah.
It's like any time where you get a kid that they're creating something.
Well, yeah, they're using their imagination. They're using their, you know,
like that shit, dude. Like having imagination, man, is like the most important professional skill that you can have, because it makes you a fucking problem solver.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? Like you could say that it's ridiculous. You need to put the comic books or the video games down. Fuck no, dude. Pick that shit up and like learn.
It was a really big bone of contention with me and a lot of the schools that our kids went to, where they wanted them to learn how to do something one way, and that was it. And I had a real problem with it, because I was like, they're not teaching think outside the box or anything thinking. They're just, so I would always tell my kids, I don't care what the school says to you. If you come up with a different way to come up with the answer, don't be ashamed. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what you thought about it as a teacher, but it's kind of seems to have gone by the wayside around here. But fucking Common Core.
Yeah, dude, especially with teaching math to third graders, dude. I'll tell you, man, it's terrible. It's ridiculous. There are some tricks that you just need to know,
right,
to do math quickly.
Sure, that's what it is.
Everybody at any moment is going to have like, a package of graph paper next to them to figure out a multiplication problem. I understand a lot of the focus of it was, okay, like, what, the answer to like 4 times 6, but do you understand why that equals that? And I get that. And basically what my principal told us, like the 2 that I had, was like, teach it this way, supplement it however you want. So like we basically like the teachers on my team were just like, yeah, we need to, it's important that they understand why this works this way, but also like there's a huge emphasis on like quick fact recognition.
Right.
Like, you need to do your times tables and shit like that. Like you need to do your addition, subtraction, like all that stuff. Like you need to drill all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, like you can. There are other teachers that didn't do that. They followed it to the letter. So it's kind of like depends on your school. your principal, what district
Yeah,
you're in,
like
what the other teachers on your
even,
team are like
as a parent asking even like for help with it, like to how to teach this to my child, because okay, here's this example and I don't understand. I can give you the answer, I can show you how to do it on paper, but I don't understand how you want this worked out. And in order for my child to solve this problem correctly, it has to be done on paper as
this could open up a huge conversation, but it's like with standardized testing being the way that it is, it was me, my principal, my assistant principal, 3 other 3rd grade teachers, the instructional coach for the district, looked at this one question on this standardized test that we had to take, and we all, there was, it was multiple choice A through D. I don't remember the question exactly, but we all said it was C, and the test said it was B. You know what I mean? Like, you had like all these people with master's degrees. Like, one of them was a doctor in education who was the instructional coach, got this question wrong on the standardized test that a 3rd grader was supposed to take. You know what I mean? Like, some of the shit is just ridiculous, where it's like the way that some of the questions are worded, it's like almost like they're like designed to fail, and like I've seen even like my son he's finished 1st grade, like some of the stuff, especially with math, is where it seems to be mostly the case, where I'm like, I was like looking at my wife and I was like, and I kind of coached Sonny into getting the answer without giving it to him. But I looked at Jack, I was like, this is the most bullshit question I've ever read in my life. Like, they're intentionally like misleading them to think one way,
True.
A different way. And it's like, that happens in life, but why, when you're teaching them, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
frustrating.
You shouldn't be teaching. It's
disheartening, Exactly,
right.
and that's what it is.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of the question. I might think of it by the end of the show, but I'm drunk, and then it was a long time ago, but it was like
I agree with you though.
And why? Because I remember looking at Jackie and like, and it's like I'm on the teacher side in that case. I'm saying you are mandated to teach this stuff, and your paycheck depends on it.
Sure. So you got
next year depends on
it.
What's up, Dom?
You're gonna do what you're told to do on it.
I'm not gonna call the principal.
I got you.
Oh, this is bullshit, because it won't do anything. Right?
Absolutely.
So I'm front of him. I'm like, we need to think about it this way. But to Jackie privately, I'm like, this is some bullshit, and this is intentionally, like, it's like trapping them to I don't know.
Yeah,
but I agree 100%. From being as a student learning the shit through Common Core and then having to teach it in that way, and then now as being a parent on the receiving end of it, it's fucked up.
I agree.
Reading should be taught with phonics. Period. That's the way I taught Sonny how to read, and that dude could read before he went to kindergarten.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's done really well in school. Eli, completely different story. He is a knucklehead. I don't know what I'm gonna do, because that dude starts kindergarten in August.
Oh God!
And he's having a hard time like recognizing his letters, dude. Like, it's such, kids are different. When you have multiple kids, it's hard, because like I can't tell you how many times it's so unfair to Eli that I'll look at Jackie. Sonny was hooked on phonics. He was, dude. But I'll look at Jackie and I'll be like, did Eli do this stuff? And she's like, well, you can't compare. I'm like, but I am. It's just tough. It's just tough, man.
I feel you, man. I would just get frustrated with the fact that my kids were learning, but like, and I got that, and it was great and all. And my wife always said, well, their grades are good, and I say, yeah, that's good, but are they learning? Are they learning like multiple ways to accomplish a goal? That's what I want to know too. Are they just being taught? This is it. I was taught, and it was beaten in my head to memorize your multiplication facts or tables, whatever. Right?
Super important, man. Like that is the stuff that you're going to use in your actual everyday life when you're buying groceries.
Sam,
when you got to buy tools or something.
If only I can tell you, my job requires me to do inventories like crazy all the time. And you know how long it would take to have to count shit 1, 2, 3 instead of just multiplying stuff really fast. Oh my god!
And remember when we were kids? You're not always gonna have a calculator in your pocket.
Yeah, the truth is, yes, you are.
Hey, go fuck yourself. Look at
absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. So silly, man. Oh god. I totally got. Jeez.
That's what we did with Sonny, man. Yep. Get them sight words, baby, ready to go.
All right, man. It's about 11 o'clock. I think we can call for tonight.
That's cool, man.
I want to get a hangout going, but I need to get some food real quick. So, do either one of you want to start one, or EE or someone want to start a hangout?
I can't do it on my phone. It's a bitch. Okay.
Yeah,
I tried.
If I start one, I gotta be the one to let people in, right?
Yeah. So
I'll be hanging out for a while.
All right. Either you guys can wait for me, or EE can start one at some point. But yeah, I got to get something to eat because
I haven't seen here. I'll start when I'll be around.
All right, and then we can migrate, and then we can migrate later
if needed. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
cool.
So I'll be just a little bit. Yeah. All right. Sweet. All right, guys. As I say every week, peace, love, and hair grease. We out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.